Hello you guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my December reset. We're starting things off in a bit of a different position. I thought it would be only fitting to start this video in front of the Christmas tree. Like, it just made sense. It's December, it's my December reset. I cannot believe we're in the final month of 2023. I feel like every single reset video that I filmed this year, I started off by being like, I can't believe it's another month. We're already in July or August or whatever. And here we are, and we're in December and I'm still saying the same thing. Life is just passing by so quickly, and before we know it, we'll be in 2024, which is insane. This has honestly been such a whirlwind of a year, and so I'm really looking forward to taking things slow this month, really just taking a step back. I've been practicing a lot of gratitude this past month, which has been honestly a game changer. I'm feeling so just content right now because I've kind of taken that step back as well. I'm feeling really motivated going into the new year. I cannot wait to film my 2024 reset. I've already started, I don't want to get too carried away, but I've started like brainstorming my goals for next year, financial goals, all of that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm excited to get into it. I wanted to say a big thank you to Press Reset as well for sponsoring this video. I'll talk more about them in a moment. But yeah, we'll go over our goals, check in on those, set some new goals for December. I think we're going to do more like a bucket list style for December because I do want to take like that step back a little bit before the new year. I'm so sorry about Mabel. Oh, this is mine. Does this look like a dog toy? It kind of does actually, to be fair. I want to take things a little bit slower this month. We're going to do more like bucket list style for December, as well as a bit of a to-do list, things that I just want to get done but aren't necessarily goals perhaps, and then really focusing on our daily habits so we can build momentum for the new year. And then of course go over our budget, see how we went with our spending and saving in November, which I'm a little bit nervous to do, and then set a new budget for December, which is going to be a pretty hectic month between Christmas and different social events. I feel like December is always such a busy month for us. And then we're also doing some traveling. If you guys caught my last vlog as well, we just booked a big trip for early next year as well, so we need to start saving for that. We've already obviously started, otherwise I wouldn't have booked it, but yeah, we really need to crack down with our savings as well. So lots to do in terms of the finances, but let's get into our goals. I'm gonna sit here, I think, with my laptop and we'll go over our goals for November and see how we went with those before I head upstairs to my office and set new goals. I've got my goals and habit tracker dashboard pulled up here, which is from Press Reset. You guys might have seen this in previous reset videos. I use them every single month. I've been using them for the last, I don't even know how long, like 3 or 4 months, maybe midway through the year. As I said, Press Reset are kindly sponsoring this portion of the video, so big thank you to them. If you guys haven't heard of Press Reset before, they're an online finance and productivity brand, which was started by Kaylan here on YouTube. She does very similar videos to mine, so if you enjoy my content, I feel like you would absolutely love her. She's very like cool, calm, collected, like warm. We're not similar actually, now I think, but I feel like I'm not cool, calm, and collected, but she just has like the most poised disposition. Like, I just love watching her stuff. So I'll have her channel linked down below along with Press Reset. They've been kind enough to give me a discount code as well to share with you guys, which is Ella30. So if you guys want to use that code, I feel like this would honestly make the perfect gift either for yourself or for someone else. 0 wrapping required, which is so ideal. Any like last minute gifts, or honestly it's like the gift that keeps on giving because it's something you continue to use throughout the year. I'm using the goal and habit tracker, but they also have a really good ultimate wealth dashboard, which is super cool. So definitely go check them out. And yeah, again, thank you to them for sponsoring this portion of the video. So I've got my goals up here. I've set these from last month. So personal goals, 2 date nights inside and outside of the house. I'm gonna say yes. I don't think we were like super intentional about this necessarily, but like by default we kind of did. Get artwork for the dining room, we absolutely did. We did not finish the spare bedroom. I still need to get a quilt cover and like some artwork for up there, but it's coming along. We got a new bed, which is the main thing. I would say we've mostly finished the living room. Our decor's kind of been overrun by Christmas at the moment, so I think maybe in the new year, once we take everything down, I can really like take a step back and see if there's anything else that we need to add or anything that we want to do. This room as a whole, there's a few more additions that we want to make, like this wall, which currently has the Christmas tree on it, so it's not a problem, but when it's gone, it's a very blank wall. I think we're thinking floating shelves over there and then like a bar cart in the dining area. So we'll circle back to that in the new year. I did not organize my office. That's forever on my to-do list, honestly. My office is a disaster. We did decorate for Christmas though, and we did do some Christmas DIYs. I did incorporate 2 new daily habits. Well, not necessarily new, but old habits that I kind of fell off with. So I've been drinking a lot more water, and I've been really good about my skincare routine, ice rolling my face, and also reading. I've been reading a lot more, which has been really good. I didn't do this every week, so I'm not gonna say yes to that. I did not take a bath, and I did not go to the gym 8 times this month. We did invest cost almost 500. I'll have to cross-check that when we do our budget. We did pay an extra $1,500 towards debt payoff, I believe. Again, I'm gonna have to check this when I go over our budget, but pretty close. And I don't think we had 8 no spend days, probably like 4 this month, which is pretty good. 8 was maybe a little ambitious. I did hit 47,000 subscribers on YouTube though, which is super exciting. I didn't post on YouTube twice a week. How many times did I post on TikTok? I find posting on TikTok so much easier than posting on YouTube. Obviously, it's like short form content, so it's a lot easier and quicker to make. And I just feel like anything goes on TikTok really. Like I could just bang together a quick little video. Whereas YouTube, there's a lot more thought and effort behind it, which is not a bad thing. I enjoy both. I just find them so different. Like TikTok is just a whole nother breed. It really is. I've been doing this for so long that it feels weird to pivot into short form content, but I've been absolutely loving it. And I think that motivation, that creativity has really translated across my vlogs as well. So I've really been enjoying it. Anyway, how many did I post? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Not quite 12, but pretty close. I didn't upload a morning routine, and I did I go to a supplier? Oh yeah, I did. I went on a cruise inspection. I did that. So just over 50% of our goals were achieved, which is not too shabby, honestly. Could be better, could be worse. I think if we go back and look at our goals from previous months, I feel like it's always, 56%, 57%. It's actually only getting worse. 50%, yeah. We've reconvened upstairs in my office. I wanted to sit in front of my desktop computer to set my goals for December, just because I like visual. And if anything's gonna give me a visual, it's gonna be this damn computer. It's so big and large and in charge. I've got my graphs with goal set versus achieved, goal distribution. If there's one thing about this spreadsheet, it's the visuals, which I really appreciate. I like having everything at a glance. And as I said, I want to take things a little bit slower next month, more of like a bucket list kind of to-do list rather than rigid goals. I want to focus more on my daily habits and utilizing this daily habit tracker in December to set myself up for a good 2024. So we're gonna do that. I love a fresh spreadsheet. I've got my monthly bucket list and to-dos. I kind of started brainstorming with this the other day, and then we're gonna fill in our daily habits. So I'm gonna do that now, and then we'll come back and run through them. Number one thing on my December bucket list is to go look at Christmas lights. Nick and I do this every single year. It's actually super sentimental in a way. Our very first date 6 years ago was going to look at Christmas lights. We always like to kind of relive our youth and recreate our first date. There's some really good Christmas lights as well around our area, so we like scouting those out. Also want to do some Christmas baking, make a gingerbread house, maybe do a Q&A. I did this last year with Nick. We did a little gingerbread house competition and answer questions, and it was kind of fun. So maybe I'll do that again this year. If you guys want to see that, let me know. Also go to a Christmas market. I'm not sure what one, but I will find one. I really want to get a Christmas family photo. We all got matching Peter Alexander Christmas pajamas. Even Mabel got a bandana, so we will be getting a family photo. I also want to do Vlogmas. Now, I don't want to get you guys all excited. It won't be Vlogmas on YouTube. I'm so sorry. I wish I could, because YouTube is like my thing. It's my bread and butter. But to film, edit, and upload every single day continuously is, dare I say, impossible. I've tried to do it before. I've been like semi-successful a couple of times, but now with like work and just life, like I just don't need to do that. However, I love watching it. I will be vlogging a lot this month, so there'll be plenty of vlogs, but I do want to do Vlogmas or some kind of variation of Vlogmas on TikTok. The daily uploads on TikTok. I think that'd be really fun. And then last thing is Christmas in Sydney. We are off to Sydney literally next week. We're off for a few nights, which I'm really excited about. Nick has to go there for work, and so I'm kind of just like tagging along. We've extended the trip out for the weekend, and I'm really excited. I'm excited to see Sydney at Christmas time. I feel like it'll be really beautiful. So if you have any Sydney recommendations, let me know. And then for my to-dos, I'm going to start brainstorming goals for 2024. I've already kind of started doing this just naturally anyway, but I cannot wait to film my 2024 reset video. Also, just generally want to have a low spend month with personal spending. I know there's going to be a lot of categories where it's going to be high spend, like overall it's going to be a high spend month, but if there are areas that I can spend less in, like with takeaway and eating out. Also want to continue sharing our 3 grateful gratefuls. Nick and I have started doing this past month. We're trying to check in with each other every day and ask each other what 3 things we're grateful for the day. And it's been so nice. Like, it is such a nice way to connect with your partner. Even just the little things. Like, I'm not talking about the big things. There's the obvious, like a roof over our head, our health, our family, our friends. Like, there is so much to be grateful for in our life, but just like the little mundane things and showing appreciation for those has helped me so much. I can't explain it. It's just like the best feeling. And sharing that with your partner as well, and just sharing that mentality. And then this is seeming very goally. Save at least $2,500 for a trip. We can talk more about that when we get into our budget, which I guess we could do now. Before we get into the budget though, I just wanted to come downstairs and quickly make myself a cup of coffee because I'm flagging and Lord knows I need it to look at my finances. So I'm gonna make a quick coffee and then hop back upstairs.
There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cut my teeth. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown.
I've got my iced latte, my cutie little Santa Claus glass. Isn't this so cute? It's from Kmart last year. I don't think they have them this year, but I've seen similar ones at Aldi. And that coffee is doing me a world of good, let me tell you. I'm ready to face my November budget. We're going to see how much we spent in November, what we saved, debt payoff, all of that fun stuff. I've input the last of our expenses for November, but I haven't really paid much attention to the overall figures. So we're going to deep dive, do a deep analysis into our finances this month. I like to do this at the beginning of every single month because there is something so empowering about knowing where every single dollar is going. I think it's one thing to budget and have intentions with your money, but then what you actually do with that money and how you choose to spend it is another thing. It's like goal setting. Like, we're going to have goals and we're not always going to achieve them this month. And for the last few months, I've only achieved 50% of the goals I set. So it makes sense that probably 50% of my budget is going to be off, if that makes sense. One thing I'm really trying to work on going into 2024 is being a little bit more fluid with my budgeting and with my goal setting, and kind of allowing myself throughout the month to make changes when our financial goals change or just as things pop up. Like, I don't need to be so rigid and be like, nope, this is the budget I set, I have to stick with it when like a big expense comes up, or I need to pivot and kind of change my expectations from the month. I'm a pretty go with the flow kind of gal, but for some reason when it comes to, organizing and goal setting, like, I am a military sergeant. Nothing can go astray. Like, we have plans and we must stick to them. And when I'm so laser focused on something, like, I just don't enjoy the process. I don't enjoy or see anything outside of that. Like, I just need to chill a little bit. So something I'm trying to work on, personal development, yada yada yada. Okay, November, let's have a look at it. We're going to see what we did well, what we did not so well, and then improve on it in December. Income-wise, very good, very much what we expected. It was a 3-paycheck month for me, which is always lovely. Bills and subscriptions-wise, really nothing out of the ordinary. It's always very predictable, touch wood. And then for our variable expenses, groceries, we were so close to being exactly on budget by 89 cents. Obviously, I'm not going to beat myself up over 89 cents. We did also just buy coffee beans, which I added to our grocery budget. So without the coffee beans, I think it was like $500. Well, yeah, $500 on groceries, which I'm very happy with. Yeah, we're pretty good about that. Eating out, we went a little bit over. That's fine. Same with petrol. Clothing, we only spent $240 and 20 cents between us. For home stuff, I budgeted $1,000 and we went a little bit over, but it was a big priority if you guys have been watching the vlogs. Coffee, we were $57.16 over. Getting a little crazy at our local coffee shop. I want to try and rein that in December. Just a little bit. If we can stick to the 180 budget, I'd be happy with that. Takeaway, we were a little bit over. Entertainment, we only spent $92.95. I don't even know what that $92.95 was on. What was that on? I honestly couldn't tell you. Let's have a look. Entertainment. Hello? Oh, Santa photos, $55 and $37.95 on the cinemas. Worth every cent, let me tell you. Go check out my Instagram if you haven't already, if you want to see the cutest family Christmas photos of your life. Like, it was seriously worth every single dollar. I loved it. It was the best experience. We didn't really spend that much money on going out or alcohol this month. We spent $30 on Metro, over $100 on rideshare this month for whatever reason. Didn't spend, actually that's a lie. I definitely bought Fourth Wing this month, but I must have added it to my budget with like home stuff because I think I bought it at the same time as some stuff from Big W. So I'll adjust that. But I did buy a book. I think it was like $15 from Big Dubs. Fourth Wing, really enjoying it so far. Mabel, I'm like incapable of not spoiling Mabel Moo. It's my biggest downfall as a dog mum is spoiling the heck out of her. Every month there's something that pops up. Like this month she needed flea and worming tablets. So I bought those, and then when I was on the website I was like, well, I can't just buy her flea and worming tablets. That's so boring. And then you get sucked into like the free shipping and spending over a certain amount. And then before you know it, we spent $141. So yeah, but the tablets will last her for the next 6 months. So it's an investment and we should not be spending any more money on her for a while. And then we spent nothing on travel expenses. That'll all come in December. And then for our savings this month, we invested $478.98. We didn't invest quite as much as I wanted to, but we did put more into our offset account, which is essentially like our travel fund. I still need to update all of these different categories, which will be a project for next year when I set up our new, because this is an annual budget. So I've got like the annual dashboard with all of our totals and different categories and stuff. We'll do a deep dive into this at the end of this year and see how much money we actually spent, how much we saved. I cannot wait to get into like the nitty gritty numbers across the whole year. And then when I set up our new budget for the next year, I can update these different savings categories because some of these are irrelevant now, like new car, we don't need anymore. New house, we don't need. Europe 2024 was an old financial goal. And then offset account will be like our travel fund for the first half of the year. And then mortgage and car loan, nothing really out of the ordinary. We paid our mortgage as we always do. And we put $1,250 towards our car loan, which is a lot more than our minimum repayments. I'm really proud of us actually. We have paid off over 35%, I think, of our car loan in the last like 6 months since we got it. So we're on track. I mean, now that we have this trip planned, our priority will not be paying off the car loan as quickly. Like we still want to pay it off. Our priority is kind of going elsewhere for a little while, but I still think we'll hopefully have it paid off in the next 12 months, which is awesome. So yeah, that's kind of how our money is looking. I did just get paid my third paycheck for this month. So I have $1,914.43 sitting in there, which is pretty much the entirety of my paycheck plus whatever was left over. How much did I get? Yeah, $1,724. So we had like $150 sitting in our everyday spending account. I do have this money, which I could technically put over here, but I still need it for bills in December, like towards our mortgage, because we pay that fortnightly, and with our trip next week. So I'm actually gonna leave this as is, even though we didn't reach our savings or debt payoff budget. We have this to kind of go into the new month, if that makes sense. Overall, not too bad. I'm really happy with this. I like to see our debt and our savings over 50% if I can. That way I know over 50% of our money is going towards our financial future. I know debt isn't necessarily a good thing, but in my eyes, it's us paying off our car quicker and having more equity in our home. So it's a good thing in my eyes. Obviously some of that goes towards interest, well, a large chunk of that goes towards interest when it comes to our mortgage, but anyway. And then savings obviously is nice to see. Savings just hasn't been a big focus for us the last few months, so it's kind of weird seeing this little segment. Like October, I don't even know, yeah, 2.9% towards savings, and then the rest towards debt, because debt payoff has been such a big priority for us. 55.4% towards debt, 5% towards savings, so it's really not been 1% towards savings in August. It's not been a priority for us. Really, it's kind of nice to pivot and change things up. And then expenses, 35.1%, 0.6% on subscriptions, and 9.1% on bills. If we can bring these variable expenses down, even just like 5%, I'd be happy. I'm so excited to start fresh. I'm gonna update all of these because, let's change this as well actually, just to make sure it tracks everything. And then monthly rollover is 1914.43. I'm just going to copy and paste over here. We'll go 1350. My paychecks always fluctuate. I think this one will be slightly higher. because I do get paid for any overtime, which I don't do that much of, maybe like an hour a week, if that, and then any Saturdays that I work. Social media is gonna be a big month, I think. I've been so lucky with some really awesome brand deals recently, which I feel so grateful for. I actually just posted one with Bunnings yesterday on my Instagram and my TikTok. Literally me, little old me and Bunnings. Is that not so cool? I always add up every brand deal that I think I'm gonna get paid this month. I add everything up and then I obviously take away tax, set aside that amount. Okay, that leaves us with about $4,500, hopefully. We're really lucky in the sense that we don't live off our social media income. Like, we could cover all of our expenses with just my part-time income and Nick's full-time income. So any money that we make from social media is always just like a bonus. And so if that fluctuates, it just means that we save less or we invest less or we just cut back on our expenses to reach our savings goals. I'm going to copy and paste our bills over. People always ask me, like, why don't you just copy and paste the spreadsheet, the entire spreadsheet? But you know what? I like starting fresh. I feel like it just gives me such a nice blank canvas. I feel so intentional when I do it this way. I just can't explain it. I really can't. There we go. $1,042.20 on bills, $63.95 on subscriptions. I'm gonna budget $5.50 again for groceries. Eating out, we'll budget $2.50. Petrol will go $2.50 because we seem to be chewing through the petty recently. Clothing, I'll budget $100 each just in case we want to pick anything up. I don't think there's a whole lot that we need for the house. Maybe $100. Gifts is going to be a big category. I did work out our Christmas budget. I have every intention of setting up a Christmas sinking fund at the beginning of every year, and then I just never do it or never stick with it. So I could have had a sinking fund for our Christmas presents, but I don't. So instead we're just going to wear the cost in December, and I'll budget around $1,200. This also includes like just anything Christmas related, helping out with the Christmas food. Coffee, we're going to go $180. Takeaway, on average, we try and keep our takeaway till once a week, and we usually spend between like $30 to $40 on takeaway. So 3, 6, 9, 12. We'll go $140. December's always quite a busy month socially, so I'm going to budget $300 for that. Alcohol, $150. Metro card, $15. Rideshare, $50. Books, $10. Makeup, I don't need anything. Miscellaneous, always try and keep that around $50 for like parking, just like random things. Mabel, I'm gonna say $30. I don't think we need anything, but just in case. And then travel expenses. We have our travel fund, but I'm trying to keep that strictly for the US, and we're off to Sydney next month. We have our accommodation. I've already paid for our flights. I'm trying to think. Let's say $1,500 between us. Seems like a reasonable amount. Then we have our debt, so our mortgage, or both our mortgages because we have a split loan, and then our car loan. This one, the minimum repayments are $440. Car loan I'll leave at $440. How much does that give us? $4,543.07. I would love to save at least $2,000. We'll say $3,000 for our US trip, and then that gives us $1,543.07. I don't know if we should just put all of that in our offset account. I'm going to put $1,250 towards the car loan, so we're still paying that off at like a good rate, which gives us $733.07. So we'll just put that all in the offset account. I don't know if that was the right amount. No, that definitely wasn't. And that should be an every dollar budget. That is it, you guys, our final reset for 2023. Why do I feel a little bit emotional? I want to say the biggest thank you, whether this is the first reset of mine that you're watching or if you watch these every single month. It honestly, they're my favorite. They're my favorite videos to film. I love reading the comments, seeing what you guys are working on, and just making these videos and holding myself accountable and just seeing that growth throughout the year. Looking back on where we were 12 months ago, my life is so different in the best way, and I could not be more grateful for this life and for you guys, obviously. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see you guys very soon for another video. Bye everyone.